Magnus will most likely castle his king and regain the pawn. It was a King's Indian defense. That shows that Magnus wants to have some fun.
And move 12, I have to say this is the most fun Armageddon position that I've seen all week here, initiating that chaos with f5. It is a pawn sacrifice. So is Arjun going to go pawn hunting? He's still got the lead on the clock. Arjun with the white pieces needs to win. He retreats with the knight, a KG approach. Don't take on e4. The knight finds itself a beautiful spot if you trade on white's terms, giving that e4 spot for the white knight.
And f4 looks very tempting. There we go, the white bishop trapped, although it can be saved after an exchange of minor pieces. And look at this, a counterattack against black's bishop, which was his better bishop, needed to save itself. And it's level material, the position totally blocked. But bishops don't do too well in block positions. Magnus with a very bad piece, actually, on g7. I'm not sure he's going to be thrilled with how this opening has turned out.
And it was a win for Lei Ting-Jie against Sara Kadem, as expected. So she finishes the tournament with 16 points, and probably in second place.
Oh, look at this double connect 4 from Arjun Erigaisi. Oh, double connect 4. It's the triangle, it's the pyramid, whatever you want to call it.
It's
beautiful.
David's dream.
Beautiful stuff. Talking of having fun. But Magnus is trying to break that configuration, at least by putting some pressure on the king side flank. Arjun has to decide what to do with the king. They both have to decide which flank to go to. Maybe easier to decide for black.
I mean, considering the white queen is on the queen side and the two knights, which we know are like key defenders, and not even talking about Magnus's avalanche on the king side. White king, if I was white, I would choose the queen side to find safety right now. Getting it to shot castle just looks very terrifying. Arjun does go for it. And again, has Magnus overpushed on the right flank?
That's the big question. Does Magnus regret pushing his pawns forward if he's going to castle his king on that side? He doesn't castle his king, he just shifts his rook, getting ready to occupy the g-file, given a question mark, but doesn't change the evaluation too much. I don't think that's a mistake of any significant proportions.
Yeah, and there we're seeing king to b2. The position is very locked, you've got to say. And there we're seeing a trade on f3. I'm expecting Arjun to recapture with the pawn, just in order to challenge for the g-line. But is this possible to capture with the knight?
Had Gukesh's game gone into an Armageddon with Fabi, I wonder how different of a position we would have seen in this Armageddon.
Oh, imagine if Gukesh had saved that one, and suddenly playing this Armageddon, Magnus would still need to win it. If Magnus had lost this Armageddon, if Gukesh had drawn his classical game and then won his Armageddon, we would see a playoff between Magnus and Gukesh. That would have been incredible.
What a finale that would have been. But what a final this has been all day long as well. Magnus is already your Norway chess champion. And this one for both these players, it's about pride, it's about glory, it's about finishing on a high, both on the attack here.
Yeah, and there we see Arjun jumping in with the knight to b5. It must be difficult for Magnus to actually adjust from the emotional highs of saving that game and becoming Norway champion, and then having to play an Armageddon game.
Okay, Gukesh. Yeah, Gukesh having blundered Magnus. I mean, he must have been watching that with his heart in his mouth. But this time, it's Arjun Erigaisi in the move. He moves his rook across, unpinning the white knight on f3, defending his pawn in the center. I'm just waiting for Arjun to push on the queen side. I don't see any other plan for white.
But you need to time that really well, right? Because there are ideas of opening up the A-line after the trade, the knight jumping in with the check eventually. Does that lead anywhere for Magnus, or will Arjun take it head on? You have to push that knight back at the right time. It's such a complex position. If you had to play from a side, would you rather be white or black here, Yovi?
It's difficult, right? Because kicking back that knight on c5 entails some risk, right? You're opening up lines against your own king. Whereas Magnus's plan is probably to double up on the g-line and then bishop to h5 and start maneuvering so you can put pressure against e4. But there we're seeing the king goes over to f7. Magnus, maybe he wants to tuck his king onto h8 and have it safe as houses.
Yeah, super safe king there. Okay, Arjun decides to break on the other side, playing on the king side now that Magnus has fixed his king on that flank. I'm not sure how big a threat it is to trade pawns. That would only open a diagonal for the black dart squared bishop, but showing his intentions, Arjun, he wants to play on both flanks.
Makes a lot of sense, but you again want to time those trades well. I wonder if Magnus is actually going to tuck his king on the corner on h8. It's one thing's clear. The world #1 loves these king marches at Norway chess. He's had some incredible ones. For now, he does fall back with the bishop. Eyeing that g3 weakness, rook g8 in the air. You know, I think I would rather be black here. I mean, just feels like f4 putting the pressure, the two bishops sort of with the potential of opening up if there's any trade. Rook doubling up. It looks like a very healthy... Okay, that's a big move. And not a good one.
Brave by Arjun Erigaisi, but will it backfire? He's opening the position. The black dark squared bishop poised now. That is a discovered check, but blocked. He's trying to kill the bishop pair before they become too menacing. But here, Magnus looks like he's doing very well if he can find the right moves, the bar in black's favor. How to continue, though? Magnus, that is the big question. He's 1 minute down on the clock. He brings his queen out, Magnus.
Wow. And there you can see the evaluation bar just keeps on rising for white. But it's not immediate, like why this is such a bad move. Perhaps it's just simply all about the exchanges, and the black king will be vulnerable once those trades occur.
Okay, big moment. Will he lure out the black king? Magnus pauses, maybe deciding whether to trade rooks first or not. He wants a king march.
Interesting decision. Also, if the king marches up, does capture, you have to think about ideas like e5, breaking open the center with eventual knight jumps. There are rook trades. The c7 pawn is thunder. What a crazy position this is. Everything hangs. Magnus, he's not happy with either of the decisions.
Ooh,
he does trade on the rook.
Rook takes rook.
King takes bishop will follow.
And I love your idea, Tanya, of just introducing the d2 knight into the attack.
Do you go e5? Is that a possibility, eyeing that 8-7 pawn once Magnus's king is on f6?
Super tempting.
You can also get greedy, right? Go knight takes c7 and just enjoy life being extra material up.
Magnus is suddenly hating his position. The tap of the hand shows that he is not enthused about recent developments. It is a check. Look at this. It's actually not the best move, apparently, but Magnus feels like he's getting attacked now. He has to take back with the pawn, otherwise it's game over. Magnus Carlsen, he has to take with the pawn, and then he's got to find the move. Bishop to g4, closing down the white rook next turn. But this is difficult. Magnus, with only 2 minutes left, hand reading there, body language, it feels like he thinks he's lost.
And that's understandable, right? Your king on f6, the queen opening up, the white knight's so strong. You don't have the eval bar saying. And that is a big blunder by Magnus. It's king of the hill, but this time it's about to fall. Do you just simply take on 8-7?
Yeah, go in. It's always going to be checkmate. Any check to that king is just going to be decisive. I played King of the Hill with Magnus before the tournament, but this king is not going to survive long.
Look at Magnus. This is devastation on the board. And for the second time today, Arjun Erigaisi with a winning position against the world #1.
Yeah, but at least this time, ultimately, in the big scheme of things, it does not matter because Magnus is already Norway champion 2025. And we're expecting queen to g7. That's a beautiful check, eyeing up the bishop on g4.
Mate into queen g7. The
Knight
king
d4?
moves. Knight d4 is checkmate.
Oh,
And it comes.
my goodness. It's about to happen. Magnus Carlsen about to be checkmated. It's on the board.
And handshake. And Arjun Erigaisi wins the Armageddon, picks up 1.5 points. And Magnus Carlsen, he doesn't care.
He literally doesn't care right
He's
now.
Norway champion. He's won the big title. It's his 7th crown in a row for Norway chess.